The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 73. One rest day after the wedding ceremony, the heir of Chang'an Palace brought his newly wedded wife over to the Jing estate. Because Jingwan was working at the Ministry of Works, the young married couple specifically picked a time when Jingwan was present and also asked Wang Shi to pass a message ahead of time so they could see young Master Li at the same time. After Li Yu learned of this, he was very happy. Yet Xinghuan and the princess were one of the few friends that Li Yu made in this ancient era. He also liked to get together with them. On the day that they agreed to visit, Li Yu specifically waited until Wang Shi came to report before transforming, then he headed out in his human form to welcome the couple. This was the first time that the princess of Jinju came to visit the estate. Raising her head and seeing the carved confession on the walls, she gave a profound look at Xinghuan. Xinghuan's face turned red, thinking to himself that he had already gotten married before Jingwan, yet he still lost to the other. The princess of Jinju then looked at the connected ponds all over, which formed a huge fish tank. She was so stunned she was speechless. Under the princess' envious expression, Li Yu brought the princess and Yeshizi to show them around a bit. Everyone says that getting married was like having a second life. After not seeing these two people for a period of time, Li Yu felt like they both changed quite a bit. There was still a bit of shyness on Yeshizi's faintly red cheeks. Smiling faintly, Yeshizi gently looked at his wife. The princess of Jinju was still as sweet and beautiful as before, radiant and splendid. The few times that she crossed gazes with Xinghuan, the happiness in her eyes practically spilled out. Really not the same anymore. Li Yu said in amusement. Unprecedentedly, Xinghuan didn't retort back. The princess of Jinju blinked and teased with a smile, young Master Li is also not the same as anymore. Li Yu. Li Yu secretly glanced at Jingwan, who was standing beside him and thought to himself, am I that apparent? Yet Xinghuan also brought Xiongfeng over and was holding on Xiongfeng's leash together with the princess. Xiongfeng haven't seen fish for a long time. When it came up, it immediately started to wag its tail wildly at Li Yu. Li Yu still remembered that Xiongfeng also loved to eat fish food. He pulled out the fish food box from his sleeve and fed Xiongfeng some. As Li Yu fed Xiongfeng, he suddenly recalled the various opinions he had regarding a second master before. Yet Xinghuan married the princess of Jinju. Didn't that make the princess of Jinju Xiongfeng's second master? He Xiongfeng, have you gotten used to it yet? Li Yu scratched Xiongfeng's chin and then went to touch Xiongfeng's stomach. Xiongfeng was completely plump and well fed with sleek and shiny fur. Looks like Xiongfeng was the same as fish, and lived pretty well with its second master, having a very comfortable life. The difference was that Xiongfeng's second master, the princess, had a good personality and loved to raise pets. Meanwhile, fish became the second master himself. If all of the pets in the world shared one stone of happiness, then fish definitely have 8 stones to himself. Oh right, young Master Li. I also brought our fish over today. After some pleasant greetings, the princess of Jinju clapped her hands with a smile and ordered the maids behind her to carefully carry over a rose quartz fish tank. This fish tank was made of pink, elegant rose quartz. Inside the fish tank were many different colored koi that fluttered their pretty tails and swam back and forth busily. Not bad. Li Yu gave Xinghuan a brief smile. The princess had always liked the fish him. So, was this what she liked? Xinghuan stuttered, it was the princess' idea to raise them. I just occasionally help to feed them. Li Yu covered his mouth and chuckled, it's just raising fish, why is Yeshizi blushing? Aren't you just refusing to acknowledge that you also really like fish? No need to be so embarrassed. The koi fish in the tank that the princess of Jinju had raised were all very healthy. However, the princess herself felt somewhat disappointed. Resting her chin on her hand, the princess looked at the fishes inside the fish tank and said, "The servants that were looking after these fishes all say that these were the smartest fishes. So why can't they compare to His Highness, Jingwang's fish?" Since she started raising fish, the little princess finally realized that fish was not the same as other fishes. Jingwang and Liu exchanged looks and said to themselves, "That's to be expected." Since the topic moved to raising fish, the princess mentioned wanting to see Jingwang's fish again. Liu felt somewhat awkward. Young Master Li and fish couldn't be present at the same time. Afraid that the princess might want to look at a close distance, Liu didn't dare to try to deceive her with the fish pillow. Luckily, after the princess made her suggestion, Jingwang's expression fell. Since the fish's master didn't agree, the princess couldn't do anything about it. Yet Xuěshān made peace. Liu did his best and discussed food delicacies with the princess. Gradually, the duration of the transformation skill had passed. As usual, Liu stated that he had important business to take care of and had to leave early. After Liu left, Jingwang waited an entire teacup of time before finally ordering Wang Shi to bring over the fish inside the crystal fish tank. Liu, who was rushing about between human and fish form, was very quickly ladled out of the crystal fish tank by Wang Gonggong using a big jade spoon, because for some unknown petty reason, Jingwang had been refusing to let others touch fish lately. Wang Gonggong could only use the spoon instead of his hands. Then, Wang Shi placed Liu into a completely new indigo quartz fish tank. The appearance of this fish tank wasn't that of a four-sided figure. Instead, it was made into the shape of a small house. There were even jade bells hanging on the roof of the house, which made soft noises with the passing wind. In order to make viewing more convenient, the door and windows of the house were covered with a layer of clear crystal. Liu has never seen this fish tank before. Most likely, this was a newly made product designed by the obsessed fish lover Jingwang. Since the huge piece of quartz must be very expensive, after Liu entered, he didn't even dare to swim around. Wang Shi picked up the indigo quartz fish tank with both hands and came out. When Xuěshān saw this new fish tank, the corner of his mouth twitched. The sky-colored indigo quartz was rare and not easy to obtain. Only the royal family were wealthy enough to afford it. This time, he and the princess lost completely and utterly. The princess of Jinju haven't seen fish for a long time. Last time at the marketplace, she only managed to see the fish pillow from afar. Now that she was looking at the real fish, the princess said in surprise, "How did it change into this?" Even though Xuěshān had warned her ahead of time, she still remembered the little black fish that swam next to Jingwang's hand and ate fish food at the state banquet. Jingwang gave Wang Shi a glance. Wang Shi already memorized this speech inside and out and specifically explained it to the princess. The princess's almond eyes opened wide as she made noises of shock. "Oh, oh." The servants placed the two fish tanks together. Jingwang's fish tank was clearly larger in size than the princess's fish tank. Through the wall of the crystal fish tank, Liu saw the other fishes across from him. The emperor also gifted Jingwang koi fish before, however, back then Liu didn't have a chance to be close enough to other fishes like he was right now. Slowly, an interesting thought came to his mind. Humans couldn't understand fish speech. No matter how many bubbles he blew, it was no use. What about other fish? How should one greet another fish? Liu did his best to swim closer and shouted loudly towards the other fish tank, "Hey, can you hear me?" There was no response from the other fish tank. Liu felt like he was being whimsical. He wasn't a normal fish after all, he was a transmigrated fish. Even if he was put in a pile of different fishes, he wouldn't be able to understand their language, right? Suddenly, he saw the scales flash before him. The fishes inside the other fish tank all swam towards him one after the other. The fishes all raised their heads and blew bubbles at Liu. Although they didn't make the same noises as Liu, Li Yu strangely managed to understand their meaning. This school of fish was saying, "Oh hello. What do you want?" Li Yu. What an unexpected surprise. Li Yu waved his tail as a test. The fishes arranged themselves into the character for 1. Li Yu waved again. The fishes then arranged themselves into the character for 10. Hee hee. Li Yu giggled foolishly. What to do? He had an even more thrilling thought. Tianqi, these fish, what's going on with them? Ye Qinghuang cried out in alarm. He saw the fishes that he and the princess raised all swimming towards Jingwang's fish and blowing bubbles in unison. What a spectacular sight! If only 1 or 2 did this, then it could still be said that it was only a coincidence. If the entire group did this, then it was just too remarkable. Watching from the side, of course Jingwang knew what was going on. Xiao Yu's real identity was a carpiao. He should be communicating with the other fishes right now. However, Jingwang couldn't hear what he was saying. Jingwang looked at the school of fish, irritation and discontent pouring out of his heart continuously. He walked over personally and picked up his fish tank with both hands. The school of fish who suddenly lost their focus. Jingwang threw Ye Qinghuan a warning look. You didn't see anything. Ye Qinghuan. Ye Qinghuan came up with an explanation on his own, stating loudly the conclusion that he had. Tianqi, is your fish actually female? Only female fish can attract male fishes. Ye Shizi couldn't think of any other possibility. Li Yu. Jingwang. Li Yu's new idea was related to the school of fish. He remembered that it was almost the emperor's birthday. In the original novel, the 6th prince demonstrated an extraordinary talent and skill in this birthday celebration. If Jingwang wanted to fight for the throne, he also could use the birthday celebration this time to cut off the 6th prince's path and leave him with no way out. In the original novel, the 6th prince couldn't afford any expensive birthday gifts. Therefore, he used light and shadows and reflected birthday wishes onto the golden bricks inside Ganqing Palace's main hall. This ingenious idea made the emperor feel extremely delighted. Of course, having no money was only a deliberate excuse. The 6th prince had already decided to use this method as a present ahead of time because it can help him obtain the emperor's sympathy while making the emperor happy. Li Yu wouldn't incite Jingwang to destroy the 6th prince's present. He could only think of one that's even better and beat the 6th prince at his own game. The birthday celebration was a place to show off one's talents anyways. Li Yu first asked Wang Shi to help him obtain a tank full of fish. Then he lectured the fishes for a while. After making certain that he had full control of them, Li Yu found an opportunity to ask Jingwang about the details of the birthday celebration for the emperor. In the past years, Jingwang always wrote something himself and gifted it to the emperor, as in accordance to customs. But now that he decided to fight for the throne, he can no longer be too casual. The emperor assigned Jingwang government positions, so Jingwang also needed to thank him. Therefore, other than writing a birthday blessing, he also found an artist that the emperor really loved and asked the artist to paint a longevity picture of red-crowned cranes with peaches of immortality. This artist had an eccentric personality and never drew for other people. For them to accept a commission from Jingwang was not easy. When Li Yu came over to inquire, Jingwang actually had finished making all of the arrangements already. However, he still wanted to listen to Xiao Yu's ideas. He knew Xiao Yu was doing this for his sake. He really liked seeing Xiao Yu running around for his sake. Li Yu carefully asked, "Your Highness, do you have any idea for His Majesty's birthday celebration?" Jingwang shook his head accordingly and saw Xiao Yu's black eyes instantly shone brightly. "What are you planning now?" Jingwang looked towards him with a grin. Li Yu rubbed his hands and said, "Your Highness, let's try using fishes to display the word longevity as a birthday gift to the emperor." The 6th prince's light show was inanimate. How can it compare to a display made by lively fishes? Also, koi represented blessings and luck anyways. Li Yu refused to believe that the view of fishes in the formation of the character for longevity would lose in grandeur to the sixth prince's light show. Moreover, he had already run some tests in the last few days. His fish form can communicate with other fishes. Making them display the word longevity was no hardship at all. When the time comes, he could even sneak into the school of fishes and provide assistance in case of unforeseen circumstances. No matter how he thought about it, Li Yu felt like his idea was not bad and said cheerfully, "I often feed fishes and know a way to make fishes form words. Can you let me give it a try, Your Highness?" Jingwang raised his eyebrow. He had seen Xiao Yu interacting with the school of fish before personally, so he unconsciously started pondering the possibility. Afraid that Jingwang wouldn't agree, Li Yu hastily wrapped his hands around Jingwang's arm and caressed them coquettishly. Jingwang. This was the first time Jingwang was caressed like this by Xiao Yu. Internally, he faintly smiled. In the face of the fish's coquettish behavior, Jingwang acted as if he was still considering the idea, but his gaze floated towards the direction of his legs. Li Yu's face instantly flushed. "Big scoundrel, why are you like this? Really never forgetting to eat tofu at any given moment? Forget it?" He was a flexible fish who knew how to give and take. He won't be stumped here, he had to share delights and sorrows, for better or for worse. In order to obtain this important assignment, Li Yu suppressed his embarrassment and obediently sat down. 15 minutes later, Fish seized total victory with trembling legs and used countless tofu to defeat the tyrant. The tyrant finally agreed to let him try, leaving the task to him completely. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 74. In order to obtain the best result, Li Yu wanted to use red koi only for his fish formation. He only had this little request, along with the fact that when he trained the fishes, no one was allowed to see. Jingwang agreed to it without questions. Although the koi obtained to create the fish formation weren't as valuable as the ones inside the imperial palace, they still looked very festive. Just practicing wasn't enough. Li Yu also asked Jingwang to write the character for longevity so that the fishes could use it as a reference. Jingwang originally thought that even if this didn't end up successfully, it wouldn't matter since he was just treating it as something to make Xiao Yu happy. However, when he saw the fish display the characters for longevity in an organized manner, looking the same as what he wrote, Jingwang felt extremely moved as well as shocked. Xiao Yu was probably the only person in the world who could do something like this. In the following days, Li Yu was so busy practicing that fish neglected sleep and forgot about food. Jingwang vaguely felt like his fish lost a layer of fat and prepared plenty of fish food to help fish recover. He also fed the human form Xiao Yu plenty of supplements. However, every time Li Yu would only eat a little before self-consciously stopping. What a joke! Fish was going to appear on the big stage as well. His figure can't be too different from the other fishes. Before Li Yu was totally unaware, but now that he was mixing together with a school of fishes, Fish finally knew how a celebrity fish's figure should look like. However, even though Li Yu didn't eat much, deep inside he really wanted to. The fish food and supplements that Jingwang gave him smelled so good. Maybe he can start eating more after the birthday celebration. As he trained the fish display over here, the people Jingwang sent to monitor the sixth prince came back to report. The sixth prince purchased many paper lanterns. Li Yu understood immediately. Looks like what he thought was correct. This kind of plot event didn't have too much influence in the original novel. Sure enough, the sixth prince still proceeded as planned and prepared a light and shadow presentation. However, since they were watching the sixth prince, did this mean that the sixth prince was also watching them? Li Yu recalled the sixth prince's ice-cold gaze and unconsciously shivered. He decided that it's best not to lower his guard. This kind of person should never be underestimated. Anticipating that something might happen to the fish performance, Li Yu made other preparations ahead of time. Soon enough, the day of the emperor's birthday celebration came. Jingwang entered the imperial palace bright and early. Li Yu was afraid that if he changed into a human now, he wouldn't be able to do it again later if he encountered some sudden issue. Therefore, a day earlier, he informed Jingwang ahead of time that young Master Li was taking a break for an entire day. At the moment, Jingwang brought the crystal bottle and Xiao Yu into the palace first. Behind him, Wang Shi brought the Jing estate guards and transported the other fishes into the palace. In order to prevent anyone by getting a hint, the red koi were placed in large fish tanks covered with cloth. In front of others, it was announced that these were Jingwang's present to the emperor. On this day, the emperor set up a banquet at Baohe Palace to receive all of the government officials' congratulations. The presents from different provinces had been arriving continuously inside the palace for over a month now. There were plenty of dignitaries that rushed over from various regions to wish the emperor happy birthday. The emperor also ordered colorful canopies to be placed on the sides of the roads to receive the civilians celebrating the event. During the entire event at Baohe Palace, Li Yu followed Jingwang where his horizon broadened. If he had to describe the emperor's birthday celebration in one word, that would be extravagant. The gifts presented by the government officials were so numerous that they couldn't even fit in all of the rooms inside Baohe Palace. The gifts were all priceless that any one of them could serve as a family heirloom of any normal family. The emperor was very happy and drank a few cups with his top officials and the 6 government ministers. When it was time for the princes to present their gifts, Marquis Ivan, who was arranged to go first for being the eldest. The emperor permitted him to enter the palace on this special day to present his gifts. However, Mu Tianzhao failed to live up to expectations. His head was still muddled, he couldn't even recognize the emperor after seeing him. Seeing the current Marquis Ivan, the emperor recalled the formerly elegant and poised second prince and couldn't help but feel sorrow. Very quickly, this sorrow was lessened by the other princes. The third prince, Mu Tianming, was also permitted to enter the palace. Seeing that Mu Tianming was much humbler, the emperor nodded. The third prince presented the gift that he picked out meticulously. It was the bone ashes of a Buddhist monk that he purchased with countless gold. The emperor felt very touched and thought the third prince had finally learned filial piety. However, the ashes of a monk were originally meant to be enshrined and worshipped. For it to be used for such a purpose, Buddha might not be very happy. Because today was a day of celebration, the emperor didn't reveal any discontent. However, after he gave the matter further thoughts, he realized that the third prince was sentenced with confinement and only allowed to go to the imperial study to read and copy books. How could he have obtained such priceless Buddhist ashes like this? The emperor noted his suspicion internally. The third prince promised repeatedly that he had repented, yet the emperor continued to commit acts that only made the emperor more suspicious. Inside the crystal bottle, Li Yu also saw the Buddhist ashes that the third prince had gifted. It was pitch black and not in any particular shape. Regardless of whether the third prince bought the real thing or not, Buddhist ashes were made from the skeletal remains of monks. Li Yu instinctively felt somewhat scared of these things. Jingwang felt the fish's apprehension and used his sleeve to cover Li Yu. Li Yu peeked out from the gap of the sleeve and felt much more at ease. The 2 young princes, the 7th and the 8th prince, each copies scriptures for the emperor and were led by their birth mother to kowtow to the emperor. The emperor enjoyed gazing at the faces of his younger sons as it gave him the illusion that he wasn't that old yet and made him felt young. When it was the 6th prince's turn, Mu Tianxiao first lowered his head and apologized humbly, saying that he was poor but upright. Unable to prepare an appropriate gift, he can only borrow the assistance of the light and shadow of the palace hall to present his gift to the emperor. His explanation here already set up the suspense and caused the emperor to feel pity. Also curious to see what the 6th prince planned to do, the emperor ordered him to do his best. Li Yu screamed sharply internally, here he comes," and then speedily plastered himself against the wall of the crystal bottle. Due to the 6th prince's request, half of the candles inside Baohe Palace were extinguished. The lanterns that the sixth prince brought over were hung up. The emperor raised his head, looked at them for a while and felt that these lanterns looked like regular lanterns. Then the sixth prince invited him to look at the floor. On the gold floor tiles of Bauhi Palace, there were many different shaped shadows. With a careful examination, they were actually birthday wishes. The emperor said delightedly, "Tianxiao, how did you do this?" With a smile, Mu Tianxiao explained everything carefully to the emperor. Apparently, after the sixth prince purchased the paper lanterns, he cut out words for the birthday blessing ahead of time and pasted them inside the lantern. Lighting up the lantern and then hanging them up high, the light from the lantern would project the shadows of the characters on the ground. Mu Tianxiao said humbly, "It's just a small trick. My apologies for letting Imperial Father see such a poor performance." The emperor clapped his hands and laughed loudly, "I know it's not easy for you. The thought is what matters." When the sixth prince presented his gift, the third prince was just standing to the side. Mu Tianming originally thought that the Buddhist ashes he gave were extremely thoughtful and was hoping to use the Buddhist ashes to change his circumstances. However, he saw the huge difference in the attitude that the emperor had towards himself and the sixth prince. So in the emperor's eyes, the holy object that he spent countless gold to obtain, didn't even compare to a random trick from the sixth prince's lanterns. The third prince felt anxious internally and also suspicious at the same time. Wasn't the sixth prince always voluntarily helping him? Why would the sixth prince steal his thunder in such an important event such as this birthday celebration? The third prince glanced towards the sixth prince with a gaze full of suspicion. The sixth prince said quietly, "Third elder brother, don't be angry. I've also thought about your current predicament. If I can gain value in Imperial Father's eyes, perhaps I can put a good word in and help you obtain your freedom." The third prince froze briefly. The sixth prince's words seemed very reasonable, but was it really true? After the sixth prince withdrew, head steward Luo stepped forth and whispered a few words with the emperor. Earlier, Wang Gonggong from the Jing estate had begged him to make the arrangement so that Jing Wang's gift could be announced last. For Luo Ruisheng, this was a simple task, but it could help him gain a favor from Jing Wang. So why not? Therefore, after the emperor praised the sixth prince's gift repeatedly, Luo Ruisheng aptly stepped forth and mentioned Jing Wang. With a smile, the emperor looked towards Jing Wang with some surprise. "Tianqi, I hear you prepared a special gift this time." Jing Wang normally gifted a word of blessing that he wrote himself. If Jing Wang had a surprise, this would be unprecedented. Jing Wang immediately stepped forth and presented the calligraphy that he wrote, as well as a rolled-up art scroll. The emperor looked at Jing Wang's word with a knowing smile. To be like this for so many years, it could be considered a type of perseverance. When he opened the art scroll, the emperor was instantly filled with delight. "So you actually managed to ask Tang Yin for a longevity painting." Tang Yin was the name of the artist. This artist was recognized and praised as an art god across the realm. The emperor also appreciated his drawings a lot and wanted to hire him. Unfortunately, Tang Yin had an eccentric personality. He didn't like money nor power and rarely did commissions. Who would have thought that he'd make an exception for the emperor's birthday? The sixth prince could speak of his difficulties out loud, but Jing Wang could only present the art. Jing Wang didn't mention how he managed to persuade Tang Yin. However, the existence of Tang Yin's art here was enough to prove how much thought Jing Wang placed in this gift. The emperor finished appreciating the longevity painting of the red-crowned crane and peaches of immortality. In satisfaction, he ordered Luo Ruisheng to hang the painting inside Ganqing Palace. The emperor wanted to look at this painting some more daily. In comparison, the words that the sixth prince had cast on the ground were much more uncouth. The emperor no longer paid any attention to those words. After gifting the painting, Jing Wang still stood there unmoving. The emperor asked with confusion, "Do you have more gifts?" Jing Wang nodded lightly and made a please follow gesture. In a delighted mood, the emperor was happy to listen to Jing Wang. The palanquin was turned towards the direction Jingwang was pointing at. With Jingwang leading the way, the emperor was brought to the Taiye pond. Supporting the emperor, Xuěshān and the emperor looked inside the pond together. They saw spots of red moving inside the pond. Looking closely, they discovered the redness was due to numerous red koi swimming around. These red koi swam continuously and gathered before the emperor without scattering. Xuěshān understood this was perhaps the reason why Jingwang guided the emperor here and said with a smile, "Your Majesty, look. These fishes are wishing you a happy birthday." The school of fish was very likable. With a smile, the emperor nodded. Following behind the emperor, the sixth prince maintained a smile on his face, yet felt some contempt in his heart. What's so impressive about this? Someone just had to arrive before the emperor and scatter some fish food in the water. Then the fish would gather together easily. It's not anything notable. How could it compare to his light show? As the emperor looked at the fish inside the pond, he suddenly discovered that these fish seemed to be in some sort of formation. Some were horizontal and others were vertical, looking extremely like brush strokes. Xuěshān also noticed this by now. He cried out excitedly, "Are these fishes forming a word?" The emperor took a step back and looked at the entire scene all at once. Connecting the bright red areas, it actually created an extremely spectacular sight. It was an upright and proper character for longevity. The same longevity for his birthday and also in the same calligraphy that Jingwang wrote for many years. Xuěshān was extremely shocked and almost cried tears of joy, "Your Majesty, the red koi are presenting longevity." The emperor already received Tanyin's longevity painting of the red-crowned crane and peaches of immortality. Now he was receiving longevity blessings from red kois. His dragon heart was extremely pleased. Xuěshān took the lead and immediately started to shower the emperor with auspicious words. After saying a bucket load of different auspicious blessings, this school of koi continued to maintain their formation. The crowd had never seen such a scene before and all rushed forward to watch the spectacle. The emperor was extremely pleased with Jingwang's gift and loudly praised Jingwang. However, he didn't ask Jingwang how he did it. Perfect scenery and beautiful sights shouldn't be disrupted and revealed, the emperor just considered this to be a strange marvel. Mu Tianming angrily looked at all of this. Seeing Mu Tianxiao was also watching, he mocked scathingly, "I can't beat your clever trick yet you can't even compare to a mere mute." The sixth prince only smiled and said, "Fifth elder brother's gift is quite extraordinary. I'm still lacking a lot." Mu Tianming figured if he stayed, he'd only serve as a prop to make others look better. Therefore, he hastily requested to leave. Mu Tianxiao still held a smile the entire time, not letting anyone find fault in him. The emperor appreciated the view of the red kois for a long time. The red koi still continued to maintain their formation until the sixth prince got an idea. For the koi to form the word longevity, he knew that Jingwang must have done something in the water. However, he just didn't know how Jingwang did it. Nevertheless, if he could disrupt the fish formation, Jingwang wouldn't be able to stay pleased with himself for much longer. The sixth prince didn't need too much time to find a weak point. He asked an inner servant nearby, "Are there any fish food? I have never seen this kind of scene before and really want to feed these fishes." The sixth prince wasn't stupid and wouldn't attempt to use poison right under the emperor's eyes. He merely wanted to feed the fish. There definitely was a reason why these fishes were able to maintain formation to display a word. However, fish was still fish. How smart could they be? He only needed to throw a handful of fish food down and the fish would immediately start fighting. Under this kind of circumstance and scene, many people in the surrounding area all wanted to feed the fishes. The sixth prince's action wasn't out of the ordinary. In conjunction, the emperor also said after hearing his words, "Exactly, even I want to reward them." Jingwang's heart instantly jumped to his throat. However, he remembered what Xiao Yu had warned him and guaranteed repeatedly, he mustn't mess up Xiao Yu's plans. He forced himself to calm down as he stared at the school of fish closely. The sixth prince smiled smugly. He retrieved the fish food from the hands of the servant and wildly threw down a large handful. As expected, the red kois all rushed over to fight for the food. The huge longevity word instantly dispersed. The emperor seemed to realize something and felt slightly regrettable. However, just as the red kois dispersed, he saw a silver and gold koi swimming slowly out of where the longevity word used to be. This koi held a lotus in its mouth, its gold shiny fish fins splitting apart the green waves of Tyrant pond. Swimming to the emperor, it gracefully spun in a circle. The emperor. Adding together all of the surprises the emperor felt in his entire lifetime so far, it still couldn't compare to the surprise he felt right now. Tianqi, this is the fish you raised. The emperor very quickly recognized Jingwang's pet fish. Jingwang nodded his head and looked dotingly at the fish in the water who was attempting to hula dance. The sixth prince caused trouble. Good thing, Xiao Yu had a backup plan ready ahead of time. This fish inside the water right now, was not only Jingwang's love, but also his pride. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 75. The emperor was very satisfied with Jingwang. During the banquet, many thoughts came to his mind as he frequently looked over in Jingwang's direction. After the birthday banquet finished, the emperor summoned Jingwang for a private conversation. Li Yu just returned to the crystal bottle from Tyrant pond and didn't have a chance to follow Jingwang. He could only wait outside of Ganqing Palace together with Wang Shi. While they waited, Wang Shi pulled out a lot of red-colored fish food and peach blossom cookies. Jingwang's birthday presents were successful. Wang Gonggong felt like Master Xiao Yu was the main contributor here and really deserved to be rewarded. Just now, Li Yu didn't eat any of the fish food that the sixth prince tossed into the water. The prideful fish didn't even give them a single glance and focused wholeheartedly on swimming around vigorously in front of the emperor, not even feeling tired at all. Now that Wang Gonggong was feeding him, Li Yu finally felt the hunger and swiftly gobbled everything up with large gulps, stuffing both of his cheeks full. Master Fish, you can slow down. Wang Shi said with a smile. Li Yu was just devouring food ravenously when he suddenly heard footsteps. Excited, Li Yu looked over with food in his mouth. However, he immediately realized that the footsteps came from outside of the palace, so it shouldn't be Jingwang. Li Yu very quickly caught sight of Mu Tianxiao's gentle and amiable face. It was actually the sixth prince. Li Yu was somewhat disappointed. Why hasn't this guy left yet? He probably came over to wait for an audience with the emperor, yet unexpectedly encountered Wang Shi and fish. Mu Tianxiao also saw fish. The sixth prince had been wanting to take a closer look at this fish for a long time and immediately he walked closer. This old servant would appreciate it if the sixth prince won't come any closer. Brows furrowed, Wang Shi warned him. As His Highness Jingwang's younger brother, can't this prince take a look at the fish that fifth elder brother is raising? The sixth prince said with a smile that's not quite a smile. What was he planning to do? Li Yu was so nervous he forgot to swallow the food in his mouth. He secretly gathered plenty of force in the tip of his tail. If the sixth prince dared to do anything to him, then would Li Yu dare to slap him? Your Highness the sixth prince. Wang Shi protected the crystal bottle securely in his arms and warned again, this is our Highness Jingwang's fish. Without His Highness's expressed permission, you may not come any closer. Mu Tianxiao's expression turned somewhat cold. What, are you treating this prince with disdain? Wang Shi said neutrally, this servant is not treating your honored self with disdain. However, even though this humble one was only a servant, this humble one also know that to take something without asking first is called stealing. Why would His Highness the sixth prince insist on coming over to look closer at fish when my prince is not here? After Wang Shi finished talking, Li Yu almost applauded him if his two fins could actually reach, that is. Li Yu. Wang Gonggong actually rebuked the sixth prince for fish. Fish feels really touched. Wang Shi refused to back down, which embarrassed Mu Tianxiao very much. He had probably figured out that starting an argument in front of Ganking Palace with Jing Wang's personal servant would be hard to explain. Mu Tianxiao very quickly smoothed out his expression and said voluntarily, "No need to be nervous. This prince only wanted to take a brief look. If it's not allowed, then forget it." Mu Tianxiao left to enter the palace, but was soon very quickly but politely invited out by the inner servants guarding the palace. Mu Tianxiao gave Wang Shi a sideways glance, turned around and left. It seemed that the sixth prince's request for an imperial audience was not successful. The emperor didn't want to see the sixth prince at all. Finally, he left. Li Yu could relax somewhat. Luo Ruisheng sent Jing Wang out of the palace. Wang Shi hastily carried Li Yu over to greet him. "Your Highness, you finally came out." Wang Shi beamed as he handed over the crystal bottle. Jing Wang's habit was to always immediately look at fish first. Jing Wang directly took the crystal bottle and stroked Fish's smooth back. Li Yu happily wrapped his tails around Jing Wang's finger. The emperor and Jing Wang had talked for so long. Maybe the emperor was so happy that he wanted to directly confer the title of crown prince to Jing Wang, and then the third prince as well as sixth prince would all have to stand aside like the dregs that they were. Li Yu almost made himself laugh from his own imagination. How could fighting for the throne be this easy? He knew he was just indulging in fantasies and was just amusing himself, that's all. However, even if Jing Wang wasn't directly given the crown prince title, he still received a reward, right? Li Yu secretly glanced at Jing Wang's facial expression. Jing Wang was not sad nor happy. Li Yu felt like the reward was a bit different this time. Jing Wang signaled Wang Shi with his eyes, "Go to Changchun Palace." Wang Shi made a noise of acknowledgement and started to lead the way in the front. This was the first time Li Yu was heading to Changchun Palace. It made him think about a certain mysterious secret that was related to Changchun Palace. He once attempted to ask Jing Wang about it but discovered that Jing Wang had no impression of this matter. If Li Yu wanted to completely understand this secret, he can only think it over himself. Actually, Li Yu thought about whether he should ask Jing Wang to bring him to Changchun Palace or not before. However, he couldn't think of a good excuse to do so. Changchun Palace was the residence of the deceased empress after all. For him to suddenly mention that he wanted to go take a look was very impolite. Also, if he entered the palace in human form, he'd have to pay attention to the time. If he begged Jing Wang to take him and Jing Wang agreed but then he ended up disappearing in the middle of it, it'd be too inexcusable. However, there was no way for him to ask this request to Jing Wang as a fish. Li Yu originally planned to wait until Empress Xiao Hui's birthday. In the original novel, it mentioned that Jing Wang would definitely go to Changchun Palace to make an offering. Li Yu wanted to wait until that time. Jing Wang normally brought fish along everywhere. If he didn't plan to bring fish, then fish would have bothered Jing Wang until he did. In any case, Li Yu would have the chance to enter Changchun Palace. By that time, perhaps he would have automatically figured out the secret. Unexpectedly, it happened on the emperor's birthday, which was before the Empress Xiao Hui's birthday. Jing Wang had decided to head over there for some unknown reason. Because Jing Wang mentioned going to Changchun Palace after conversing with the emperor, perhaps the emperor had ordered it? Li Yu carefully looked at Jing Wang's facial expression. Jing Wang should have been rewarded, but why would he look so serious? The entourage of people soon reached Changchun Palace. After seeing the scenery around Changchun Palace for the first time, Li Yu was even more certain that the location shown in the scene of that secret was Changchun Palace. The roof tiles were decorated extremely similar to what he saw in the system. Also, from what he heard from Wang Shi's rambling, after the empress passed away, no other concubines moved into Changchun Palace. It hadn't been renovated for a long time. The main hall of Changchun Palace was all dark. Jing Wang ordered Wang Shi to light up a lamp. Cloths used for memorial services hung everywhere inside the main hall. A square table enshrined Empress Xiao Hui's memorial tablet. Jingwang placed the crystal bottle on the table. Wang Shi took out 3 incense sticks. Jingwang lit them up himself, walked in front of the memorial tablet and respectfully kowtowed 3 times. When Li Yu entered the palace with Jingwang, he immediately started to look all over for the cloth tiger doll. However, he actually couldn't find it at the moment. Because fish form was too inconvenient, he could only give it up temporarily. While Jingwang was making the offering to Empress Xiaohui, Li Yu looked at his figure in a daze. He couldn't help but recall that Jingwang had already brought him to see the elders at Chang'an Palace. Now, he brought Li Yu to Changchun Palace, the residence of Empress Xiaohui, who was Jingwang's birth mother. Li Yu suddenly realized this and hastily followed Jingwang to bow his fish body towards the direction of the memorial tablet. Because everything happened so suddenly, Fish didn't have anything prepared. He could only say sincerely in his heart, "Your Majesty, if your spirit is still present, please protect His Highness Jingwang." From the corner of his eyes, Jingwang saw Fish nodding its head and waving its tail. Thinking briefly, he was able to guess Xiao Yu's intent and smiled contently. After Fish finished bowing, Jingwang sat down and stroked him. Even through the crystal bottle, Li Yu could feel Jingwang's heavy-hearted mood. "What's the matter? Did you not get rewarded just now but instead got reprimanded?" "Your Highness, what's the matter?" Wang Shi also asked somewhat worriedly. Jingwang lightly shook his head, gaze shifting outside of the palace briefly. Wang Shi understood what he was saying. They were still inside the imperial palace. It's not a good place to talk. Jingwang sat about a teacup of time and then brought Wang Shi and Li Yu out of the imperial palace. It wasn't until after they returned to the Jing estate that Wang Shi and Li Yu learned that the emperor didn't actually reward Jingwang for his birthday presents. Instead, he wanted to send Jingwang away to the west frontier for a period of time. To say it another way, the emperor's reward to Jingwang was ordering Jingwang to leave the imperial city. What's going on? How did it get like this? Li Yu couldn't figure it out. The emperor looked very happy when he was looking at the longevity fish formation. He even mentioned wanting to hang Tang Yin's painting inside Ganqing Palace. Why would he suddenly fall out with Jingwang? Li Yu thought his performance was perfect, but perhaps there was still an issue with the fish formation, or perhaps he shouldn't have overdone it and presented the lotus flower to the emperor. But if he didn't do that, after the fish formation scattered, the emperor would have been disappointed as well. The heart of an emperor was too hard to fathom for a fish. Li Yu did some self-reflections. Wang Shi also felt it was unfair for Jingwang and rambled a bit. Jingwang gestured for Wang Shi to withdraw. Wang Gonggong left. The more that Li Yu thought about it, the more he felt like it was his fault. He couldn't even eat the fish food and peach blossom cookies that Wang Shi gave him anymore. Instead, he repeatedly thought about all of the events that happened during the birthday banquet. He still couldn't figure it out and was full of remorse. Li Yu saw that Jingwang left a small light and sat by the windows. The darkness of the night made the young man's handsome face hard to discern. The sky was already dark. After toiling for an entire day, Jingwang still didn't go to rest. Perhaps he was just like Li Yu, thinking too much and was unable to sleep. It wouldn't be good to continue like this. Li Yu shook his head. At a place where Jingwang couldn't see, he changed to his human form, walked to the window and called out full of regrets, "Your Highness." Raising his head and seeing Li Yu, Jingwang had a smile in his eyes as he beckoned for Li Yu to come over. Li Yu suddenly realized. Perhaps Jingwang wasn't resting not because he couldn't stop thinking about what happened but rather because he was waiting for Li Yu. "Your Highness, I'm sorry. I did my best. I didn't know this would happen." Li Yu stammered as he tried to explain. He felt very wronged. Didn't the web novels all say that in order to fight for the throne, one had to curry favor to the emperor? How come even though fish made the emperor happy, it ended up causing harm. Did the emperor think Jingwang harbored ill intentions now that he was trying to curry favor? How come fish couldn't share his random luck with Jingwang? Seeing Li Yu misunderstand, Jingwang shook his head repeatedly. He held Li Yu's hand and patted him. Then, he pointed at the painting on the wall. Li Yu guessed for a while and got the general gist of the other's meaning. Jingwang was saying, it's not his fault. Jingwang also gifted the emperor a painting himself. Li Yu sniffled and asked with uncertainty, you really don't blame me, Your Highness? Jingwang shook his head again and squeezed Li Yu's hand tight. It was hard to explain with only a few gestures. Jingwang kissed Li Yu's lips and then carried Li Yu onto his lap. Li Yu. Li Yu was shocked. What kind of time was this? Jingwang was still thinking about tofu. Was Jingwang afraid he wouldn't be able to come back and wanted to enjoy a meal to the fullest extent? Just like how he suddenly went to Changchun Palace, was it also because it might not be convenient for him to make offerings in the future anymore? Li Yu felt extremely distressed. In any case, fish didn't have anything else but he had plenty of tofu. There's no harm in making Jingwang a bit happier. Grinding his teeth, Li Yu wrapped his arms around Jingwang's neck. Jingwang was faintly stunned by Li Yu's sudden boldness. Thinking about something, he smiled and then straightened up the body that Li Yu leaned over. He held Li Yu's hand and spread open a piece of paper together with him. Li Yu instantly flushed red. So they were sitting like this, not because Jingwang wanted to eat tofu but because he wanted to write. While holding Li Yu, Jingwang wrote, "Thank you for your hard work. You're very good. No need to worry. Father wasn't actually mad at me." Really? Li Yu didn't really believe it. Then why would the emperor want you to leave, Your Highness? In the original novel, it mentioned that the West Frontier was barren, have a harsh environment and not very well off. It's not like the emperor wanted Jingwang to take a vacation there, right? Father didn't take away my nobility status, Jingwang wrote heavily, with emphasis. Li Yu chewed on this sentence repeatedly. His eyes lit up. Didn't take away his nobility, what did this mean? When the emperor spurned the second prince, he didn't even give him the status of Wang and only gave the second prince the title of a marquis. The other princes didn't even have any titles so far. Meanwhile, Jingwang's title of Wang was actually something that the emperor gave him out of guilt and compensation. If the emperor really got angry and expelled Jingwang out of the imperial city out of fury, he definitely wouldn't have allowed Jingwang to keep his nobility status. Can it be the emperor ordered you to the West Frontier, not as a punishment, but... Li Yu was about to blurt out the answer, but Jingwang quickly pressed a finger against his lips and made a shushing gesture. The emperor didn't actually say anything clearly. He only told Jingwang to go to the West Frontier. When he arrived, there would be a more detailed imperial order waiting for him. Jingwang also couldn't figure it out at first. Later, he faintly guessed the emperor's intent by the fact that the emperor had Luo Ruisheng sent him out. Jingwang really felt like he figured it out, but it definitely can't be said out loud. The emperor wanted him to go to the West Frontier, so he could only follow the order and head over there. Accordingly, Li Yu covered his own mouth with his hands. However, his insides instantly started churning. In ancient times, when fathers kicked their sons out of the house, if it's not a punishment, then it was a test. Another question should be asked then. Why would the emperor test Jingwang? Because there's hope now, so naturally, he'd want to put Jingwang to the test. Before, the emperor rarely got involved in Jingwang's life. This was ultimately because the emperor didn't have any expectations for Jingwang. So naturally, he didn't care how Jingwang was. Now that there's hope, it meant that going to the West Frontier wasn't actually a bad thing. After Li Yu thought it through, his grief turned into happiness. Your Highness, when are you leaving? Jingwang wrote, immediately, in the next few days. You just stay here and take good care of yourself inside the estate. Wang Shi will look after you. Although Jingwang felt like he probably understood the emperor's intent, the west frontier was barren. Jingwang didn't want Xiao Yu to follow him over there. Moreover, the journey itself was exhausting. Jingwang was also afraid Xiao Yu wouldn't be able to handle it. Therefore, he instinctively wanted Xiao Yu to remain in the imperial city. He hasn't really treated Xiao Yu well yet, how can he let Xiao Yu follow him and suffer? Li Yu, who learned that he was about to be left behind. Oh! Oh! Jingwang was about to go to the west frontier. Wasn't this sharing happiness and suffering, for better or for worse? No, Your Highness. I'm staying where you're staying. If you have to go, then we're going together. Li Yu loudly declared. End chapter.